Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a very quick video, first one I filmed this year actually, just to give a few updates on the things that I've been doing. So I want to do an update on the Christmas Evil because I didn't actually do a recap on that or anything. I also took part in Alex from the Bookybus's January Blues weekend, last weekend, and I also want to do a little update on my read 75 books before I buy any more books challenge thing. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing today. I have in the next week or so, in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be doing a 2022 recap. I'm going to be doing goals and plans for 2023, as well as some other fun and exciting things. I'm also going to do a video on what I have been doing for the last couple of weeks, which is very exciting for me, and I'm rather happy about it. So that's what's coming up in the future, but let's do some updates on those things that I was doing. So I think I was supposed to read 9 books for the Christmas Evil, and I ended up choosing 10 and reading barely 2. Actually, I only really read 1, so there you go. I will be addressing how I plan things, or rather don't plan things, in my goals for the year video. But Christmas Evil, I'll put the little card up. I did have a few books picked for that, but I think the end of the year for me is just so absent of energy, so I think in the future I won't be planning on doing too much at the end of the year. But it did have an unexpected positive thing happen, and that is one of the books, the first book I started, was The Soul Collector by Paul Johnston, and I got about 200 pages in and I DNF'd. My first ever DNF. I just couldn't take it, couldn't hack it. Now, it helps that I started this. This was the first book I picked up after reading Ash by James Herbert, which you can check that video out if you like. I should have DNF'd that one, but I got to this one and I was just like, I can't do this to myself again. So this is the second in a series, and in the first book there's this guy who is a journalist, and he has this girlfriend who's also a journalist, and he starts being stalked by this serial killer. And you learn that by the end of the first book you realize that his girlfriend is actually working with the serial killer. The serial killer is her brother, she's sleeping with him, whole big weird stuff. But he apparently dies in the first book, and in this book the journalist has written a book, a tell-all book about his dealing with the serial killer and everything, and he's made a lot of money out of it, but he has also made some enemies about it as well. And you know, he has loads of money, and all of his, I think the serial killer was stalking like anyone he was close to, and so in this they have all these plans and protocols and safe words and stuff for him and his family and friends, so that if anything crops up again, everyone knows what to do to try and stay safe. What I didn't like about this was in the slasher section that I picked for Christmas Evil. What I didn't like about this is that it kept repeating and repeating and repeating itself constantly about everything I just said about the first book. Like, they could not bring up enough that he used to date this woman, or that she slept with her brother, or like all these things just kept repeating themselves unnecessarily. Also, him and all his friends, he has like these 4 guy friends, I think, who all have now learned how to fight and learned how to shoot and stuff, so that if someone tries to kill him again, they will be prepared. And they're all just super rich, and I know that like rich people do flock together, but like they're all just like unreasonably rich for all these different reasons, and we're just insufferable. They also all have like 3 names, which the narrator, like, they used them all, and I didn't know who was who at any point in time. They would all have a first name and a last name, but they all also had like a nickname, and it would be fine if the characters called them by those names, but the actual narration had one name for them, so you knew who was being addressed and stuff. But it was just all these different names of people I didn't give a crap about, and it was just messy, and I did not finish it. So I don't know how it ends. Don't really care too much, to be honest. Not fun for me, but there were definitely a lot of slashing in this. So I read that for Christmas Evil. Then for the, I think it was Black Magic, this was one of the options for that. This is Precious Catastrophe by Deirdre Sullivan. It took me a while to get through this, not because of the book at all. I just was, I guess, in what you would call a reading slump. I wouldn't necessarily call it a reading slump. My mind wanted to focus on other things rather than reading. But this is fantastic. I loved it. I love everything. I hope there's another book, and I feel like there will be. So the first book, Perfectly Preventable Deaths, follows the two sisters as they move with their mother and new stepfather out to Galway to this big castle and this strange town, and terrible things happen to them. I believe the first book, if I remember correctly, the first book is only in Madeline's point of view, and this one starts off in Caitlin's, but it does switch between the two pretty much like every chapter. So you are getting Caitlin's perspective and also Maddie's perspective. We're diving much more into the history of Ballyfran and creepy stuff, and getting to know their elusive stepfather a lot more, and Mamo, who is teaching Madeline how to be a witch and stuff. And I just love it. I love it. I love everything about it. It's great, and it's funny, and it's gruesome, and she does not hold back on the, you know, just because they're teenagers, she does not let them get away with anything. You know, they are brutal in this. So I would definitely recommend the series as a whole. Definitely recommend this book. I had a whole stack of books that I was going to read for Christmas Evil, and they're scattered about my room. But this one, I chose this kind of merges the Christmas Evil with the January Blues weekend. So that was Alex from Bookbus's weekend. She had a couple of book prompts and a couple of movie prompts, and I decided to combine two of the prompts and just read one book to have it be sort of a chilled out weekend. And the prompts I combined were I think it was a cold setting and blue on the cover, and I decided to keep going with the stack I had for Christmas Evil, and I read The Hunger by Alma Katsu. There's like a bluey green on the cover, and it's all cold. Now, this is based on the Donner Party, which was a party of American pioneers that were traveling across the Americas to try and get to California to find their fortunes. But unfortunately, they left too late. In the real story, they got caught up in the mountains in winter with no one to lead them through, and it was devastating. And like half the party died, and some had to resort to cannibalism just to survive. Now, I thought that this was basically telling the real story, but what she actually did was she took almost all of the characters in this are real named people who were part of that wagon train, but she uses the real events and the real dates and stuff to create a story of, like, there's a paranormal thing going on, there's spirits, there's evil, there's a family blood curse, and there's also like Native American spirits and myths and stuff in there as well. Really interesting, really liked it. Really like the characters. After I read this, I went and looked up the Wikipedia of the actual Donner Party, and I realised that she really did try and base each of the characters on their real life counterparts in their real life, either actual deeds and personalities or how they were perceived in the media after the whole thing took place. So it was really interesting, and it gave a new perspective on it. Obviously, the real life thing that happened was horrific, and it was very much evil people. This one does take the evilness of people and sort of puts a paranormal turn on it, but it was really, really interesting, and I very much liked it. So that was the book I read. The movie that I watched, I think there were 2 prompts for the movies. I had planned on watching more than one movie because I can watch 8 movies a day easy, but I was a little busy, unfortunately. So the prompts were to watch a sequel of some kind and to watch a movie about werewolves. Now, I think they did have a watch party on the Discord, but unfortunately it was in American time, so it probably would have been at like 5 a.m. for me, unfortunately. But I did end up watching rewatching Ginger Snaps with a friend of mine who'd never seen it. He loved hearing all about periods, absolutely changed his life, educational for him. I remember seeing that in like the way that I've seen most movies as a kid, in like the middle of the night, just came on TV and I was hooked on it. Was interested. I didn't realise when I first saw it, but the kind of cool guy kind of is also his character's called McKinley in the Final Destination movie as well. But it was so interesting to see, because some parts of it, like some of the music and stuff, you can kind of see were a little low budget, but they really did go for it with like the werewolf prosthetics, and the acting from the main character as well, like Ginger and her sister, were superb. It was so great to go back and watch it, because it was really, I really liked it. And I was going to watch the sequel, I probably still will, to be honest, but I didn't get to it at that time, unfortunately. But yeah, it was a good weekend. I was wearing blue Cookie Monster pajamas, which is interesting because I started my channel on the 1st of January 2020, and so this will be my 3rd year, third anniversary, yeah, of being on BookTube. And my niece got me those for the Christmas of 2019, and she also handed me a book that she'd found of ghost stories that she thought I would like, and I was wearing those pajamas when I picked up my phone and I practiced talking to a camera for the first time about the book I just got. And that was when I realised that I could actually start making videos and start making a YouTube channel. So it was kind of cool to be wearing those pajamas 3 years later, you know, very cool. So that's my Christmas Evil and the January Blues update. For I think it was in December, I started the 75 books challenge to read 75 books that I already own before I buy any more, and I have stuck to that. I have not bought a single book, I haven't spent any money except at Christmas, but I was buying for other people. So how many have I knocked off? Living Death, I was asked to review that, by David Musser. The Soul Collector, I'm counting it because I didn't fully finish it, but I've like knocked it off my TBR now. It's not there anymore. The Haunted Vagina, which my niece gave me, surprisingly liked it. You know, it was interesting. I also read Songs of a Dead Dreamer and Grimscribe, which had as an ebook by Thomas Ligotti. I think that is 2 books, but only counts as one. So I've already lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Precious Catastrophe and The Hunger. So that's 6. Was that everything I read? Yes, 6 so far. Now I was hoping to get the 75 books read kind of as soon as possible. You know, as always, eyes bigger than my stomach, but it probably is going to take me the whole year. I am keeping track of books that come up that I really want to buy though, so I'm probably going to have to save up some money and be buying a lot whenever I finish the 75. But that's 6 off, so I've got 69 to go, and I will be I've started I Am Legend now, and I'm going to be reading another one that was in my Christmas Evil list. Also, can we appreciate this new bookmark that my housemate gave me? Is it okay, cat? He's got glasses on. Oh, he's cool, and he's real long, so he fit that big Hunger book as well, so I like it. But I'll be reading this, and I'll pretty much be going through the XMAS EVIL list, and then I have some other little stacks of books that I want to get through as well. So that's my updates for those. My next couple of videos probably will be my 2022 recap and my 2023 goals and such. I'll try and keep those quite short. I don't think they need to be very long, but I have some interesting and new videos that I want to get done as well. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for coming into the new year with me. Thank you so much if you've been here from the start as well. I appreciate it so much. I really love doing this, and I would very much like to keep doing it into the year as well. So thank you so much for spending some time with me. I'll hopefully see you in the next video.